Shata Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3, Chapter 24, Text 45. We began the text, but we just, I think we just put a bit of it. We read just a bit of it. Vasudeve Bhagavati Sarveke Pratyag Atmani Parena Bhakti Bhavena Labdhatma Mukta Bandhanaha. He thus became liberated from conditioned life and became situated in transcendental devotional service to the personality of Godhead Vasudev, the omniscient super soul within everyone. So we are reading the purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When one engages in the transcendental devotional service of the Lord, one becomes...
I think we did this one. You have to start from the next paragraph, or you want to do the whole again?
We didn't finish the whole thing.
No, we have to start. The word prarena is very significant.
But
Parami.
I think let's start from when one engages. No?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
When one engages in transcendental devotional service of the Lord, one becomes aware that his constitutional position as an individual soul is to be eternally a servitor of the Supreme Lord Vasudev. Self-realization does not mean that because the Supreme Soul and the individual soul are both souls, they are equal in every respect. So this is the point to be noted, that self-realization does not mean that because the Supreme Soul and the individual soul are both souls, they are equal in every respect. So you see, we don't understand this point. That is the point we have to understand. I can't get the AC off somehow. Anyway, this is the point we have to understand. It doesn't mean that once we realize who we are eternal souls, yeah? It doesn't mean once we realize we are the soul, we will realize that I'm as equal to God, the Supreme Soul, the complete whole. No, self-realization is I will realize, yes, I'm the soul, and I will be able to experience what a soul experiences. But at the same time, I will also be able to realize that there is a Supreme Soul who is the complete whole. The individual soul is prone to be conditioned, and the Supreme Soul is never conditioned. This is the difference between us and the Supreme Lord. We are the individual soul, and we have this tendency to get covered by Maya, get entangled in thinking that I'm the body, and then we get this material body, get the modes of nature. But the Supreme Soul, the Super Soul, is never conditioned, never. This is the point we have to understand. Although both are souls, the individual soul is a soul and the Supreme Soul is the soul, but they're not equal. And this is what's the difference, that we, the individual soul, we get covered, but the Supreme Soul never gets covered. When the conditioned soul realizes that he's subordinate to the Supreme Soul, his position is called Labdhatma, self-realization, or Mukta Bandhana, freedom from material contamination. So this is the point of self-realization. When a conditioned soul, means we are right now conditioned, when we will be able to understand, we will be able to realize, not only in theory, but actually realize it, that I am an individual soul and the Supreme Soul is much bigger than me, much bigger than me. That is the point of self-realization. Mukta Bandhana. Material contamination continues as long as one thinks that he is as good as the Supreme Lord or is equal with him. This condition is the last snare of Maya. Maya always influences the conditioned soul. Even after much meditation and speculation, if one continues to think himself one with the Supreme Lord, it is to be understood that he is still in the last snares of the spell of Maya. So we try so hard to get out of Maya. Okay, I'm a conditioned soul, I'm the soul, I am not material, I'm not the body, all this is Maya. So I'm trying very hard. But if I come to the point to start thinking that I am the Supreme Lord, and right now I'm covered by Maya, then that is also Maya. That is the last snare of Maya, how Maya Devi captures us, because she's trying her best to keep us here in this material world, right? Why she's trying her best? Because it's our desire. Not that she's forcing us. It's not that there is any jail around this material world. There are no jail. There's no, what do you say, iron bars or anything. We are staying here out of our own desire. But she puts this last snare, she puts the net on us to really see how sincere we are, to check our sincerity, that did we actually change, or do we still want to continue to think that we are God? Because after all, why are we here in the material world? Anyone?
Because it was our desire.
And what's our desire? Our desire to
think that we are the master.
That's right. That's right. To think that we are God.
God, yeah.
We are the controller. We are the proprietor. We are the enjoyer. So means we are thinking we are God. Why is God God? Why am I not God? Why should he be God? Maybe I'm God, who knows? Let me try and find out. Maybe I am God. Maybe I will do certain thing. Maybe I'll do certain meditation, or maybe I'll do certain process, or maybe I'll undergo a certain thing, and maybe I will discover I'm God. And Maya Devi, she lets us think, oh yes, you're God, don't worry, you're God. Until the time we think we are God, we are still under Maya. We are still under her influence, because only God is God. We are not God. We are although God is also a soul, we are also soul, but he's the supreme soul. We are individual souls. That's the difference. Okay. So yeah, this was the point, because I remember we had not read this yesterday. Any comments or questions on this? If no, then continue reading. The word parena is very significant. Para means transcendental, untinged by material contamination. Full consciousness that one is an eternal servant of the Lord is called parabhakti. If one has any identification with material things and executes devotional service for attainment of some material gain, that is vidha bhakti, contaminated bhakti. One can actually become liberated by execution of parabhakti. So parabhakti means pure devotional service, transcendental platform, untinged by material contamination. It's performed on the liberated platform when the soul is already liberated, away from the modes of nature. Transcendental, full consciousness means the soul is already situated in the original consciousness that I am an eternal servant of Lord. That is parabhakti. So it's on the platform of liberation. So, oh, but I'm not liberated and I'm not doing transcendental bhakti. So what am I doing? Now, if one has any identification with material things and executes devotional service for attainment of some material gain, it is called vidha bhakti or contaminated bhakti. So it doesn't mean that the bhakti is contaminated. We can try to understand from this point, bhakti is transcendental, but how is my consciousness? What is my consciousness? How am I performing it? Am I under the modes of nature? Then my bhakti becomes under the modes of nature. But bhakti in itself is transcendental. That's the point we have to understand. And so now what shall I do? I have so many material desires and I'm not liberated and I have so much material contamination. So should I stop engaging in bhakti? What should I do? Can anyone help me?
Change your way of doing your bhakti.
Yeah, but should I stop? Should I stop my bhakti? That's the point. That's the point. Don't stop. Continue. Just continue. Continue hearing and chanting, and everything will follow. Everything will follow. Like Prabhupada gives the example in Nectar of Devotion that a child, can't walk as yet, but he's practicing to walk. Why? Because one day he will be able to walk. He has that innate ability to walk. So if he practices a bit, he'll fall down, he'll get some bumps and get some hurt, but he will walk. If he's a healthy child, then he will begin walking, he will become running, he'll start running. Now, why is that? Because he has the ability to. Similarly, when we are engaging in bhakti, hearing and chanting, it will bring us to the point of Krishna consciousness. Why? Because each and every one of us is Krishna conscious. It's not something artificial. It is not artificial and we are going to come to an artificial point. No, we are just going to come to our original consciousness by hearing and chanting. Now, if suppose the child, this is how I put it. Now, he's trying to walk so he can walk because the ability is there. Now we tell the child, you try to fly, you flap your hands and you will learn to fly. Is he going to be able to do it? He'll never be able to do it, no matter how much he practices to fly. He'll never be able to fly. But we'll say, oh, but I'll make an aeroplane and this and that. Not speaking about gadgets, but just the ability of the child. He will not be because he does not have that. So similarly, bhakti, we just continue here and chant, it will revive our original consciousness because that's our true position. Another word mentioned here is sarvagya, the super soul within the heart. Sitting within the heart is all cognizant. He knows. I may forget my past activities due to the change of body, but because the Supreme Lord, as Paramatma, is sitting within me, he knows everything. Therefore, the result of my past karma or activities is awarded to me. I may forget, but he awards me suffering or enjoyment for the misdeeds or good deeds of my past life. One should not think that he's freed from reaction because he has forgotten the actions of his past life. Reactions will take place. And what kind of reactions there will be is judged by the super soul, the witness. We say, oh my God, why am I suffering? What did I do? Exactly. What did I do? We forget what we did. We forget. But the Paramatma, he never forgets. He never forgets. He's there witnessing everything. And he knows not only my past activities or your past activities, he knows the past, present, and future of all living entities. All living entities. He's omniscient, right? All cognizant, all cognizant. He has all the knowledge. We can't do that. We can't remember our own past activities. What will I remember your past activities and you will remember my past activities? So we are not the Paramatma, we are the Atma. And that's the point. Atmanam sarva bhuteshu bhagvantam avasthitam apashyat sarva bhutani bhagvati api chatmani. He began to see that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is seated in everyone's heart and that everyone is existing on him because he's the super soul of everyone. That everyone is existing on the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not mean that everyone is also God. This is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. everything is resting on him, the Supreme Lord. But that does not mean that the Supreme Lord is also everywhere. So Krishna says, I am seated in everyone's heart. Everything is existing on me. Does it mean that everything is God or everyone is God? This mysterious position has to be understood by highly advanced devotees. There are three kinds of devotees: the neophyte devotee, the intermediate devotee, and the advanced devotee. The neophyte devotee does not understand the techniques of devotional service, but simply offers devotional service to the deity in the temple. The intermediate devotee understands who God is, who is a devotee, who is a non-devotee, and who is innocent, and he deals with such persons differently. But a person who sees that the Lord is sitting as Paramatma in everyone's heart, and that everything is depending or existing on the transcendental energy of the Supreme Lord, is in the highest devotional position. So Krishna is saying that everything rests on him. So how do we understand this, that everything is resting on Krishna? It doesn't mean that everything and everyone is Krishna. Now, Prabhupada is trying to explain to us the three types of devotees according to the consciousness that is developed. The first is the neophyte devotee, new devotee, just begun devotional service. And the new devotee, he's not able to realize that God is in everyone's heart. He just says that God is in the temple, God is in the deity. And so I'm going to worship the Supreme Lord. As he continues engaging in deity worship, continues the process of devotional service, hearing and chanting, his consciousness gets purified and he comes to the Madhyam level, intimate devotee, where he understands what's the position of God, who's a devotee, who's not a devotee, and then he deals with them in different ways. He knows, okay, love is for God. He makes friendship with the other devotees, and he avoids the atheist. He avoids the atheist, and he gives mercy to the innocent, to those who would like to, he feels, oh, this person is innocent, let me tell him about Krishna. That is the Madhyam platform. And then, now the Uttama Adhikari. The Uttama Adhikari, he sees, because as the Madhyam devotee, he continues engaging in devotional service. He comes to the Uttam platform, that he can see the Lord is sitting as Paramatma in everyone's heart. And he can see that each living entity is an individual soul. And it's just that they are in different bodies, depend on how they have used the free will. Some living entity is in the body of a dog. Some living entity is in the body of a Brahman. So he does not see the difference. He does not see a difference. He just sees that, oh, this living entity, how he has used his independent choice, and how the other living entity has misused his independent choice. And he understands that everyone is a part and parcel of Krishna, and the Paramatma is sitting in everyone's heart. And because the Paramatma is there in everything and everyone, that's how everything is working, existing on transcendental energy of the Supreme Lord. All this entire cosmic manifestation, Krishna has entered as the Paramatma. It belongs to him. And that is the highest devotional position. So it's not to be reached artificially, but gradually it will happen. Gradually it will happen. But the devotee is required at least to come to the Madhyam platform. At least to come to Madhyam platform. So why? To give Krishna consciousness to others. To give Krishna consciousness to the innocent, so that they can also begin their journey back home, back to Godhead.
The neophyte devotee is called like intermediate.
Kanishta Adhikari.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are all Kanishtas. We are all just begun. Devotionals, at least I can speak for myself, just begun devotional service, you know. So Kanishta, but still on the order of Lord Chaitanya, we are trying to tell others about Krishna.
Right. But the first line, why does it say that the Supreme Lord? No, but that does not mean that the Supreme Lord is also.
So because some people think that, oh, this chair is also God. You are also God. I am also God. The tree is also God. You know, it does not mean that because the Paramatma is there in everyone's heart, that everyone has become God.
But the Supreme Lord is all pervading, right? So it's everywhere.
Yes. So
then why does it say that? No, that does not mean.
So this is how we have to understand that he is pervading, right? So how is he pervading? He's pervading as the Paramatma, right? So right now, I am inside this material body. So there is a body made of matter that I'm inside. And inside this, I'm sitting, the individual soul. And also the Paramatma is sitting inside me, next to me. So it doesn't mean that I have become the Paramatma.
Yeah, no, that doesn't mean.
This is the
but
point.
Like how they say, no, kan mein
yes,
Bhagwan
kan
hai.
mein Bhagwan hai, magar kan Bhagwan nahi hai.
Yeah.
So that kan mein Bhagwan hai because the Paramatma is inside the Lord, right? But does it mean that this kan becomes the Lord? No.
Right. Okay.
That's the point to understand. That's the point. It doesn't, nothing mixes up. Nothing loses its individuality. That's the point to understand. Yeah, very good question. Is it clear? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So shall we stop here for today? If there are any other questions or comments?
There is only one more. So if you want, you can just finish the chapter. Yeah, and it's a small one. It's not even big. So if...
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Neha. So, Ichha Dvesha Vihinena Sarvatra Samachetasa Bhagavad Bhakti Yuktena Prapta Bhagavati Gatihi. Freed from all hatred and desire, Kardama Muni, being equal to everyone, because of discharging uncontaminated devotional service, ultimately attained the path back to Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, only by devotional service can one understand the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord, and after understanding him perfectly in his transcendental position, enter into the kingdom of God. So how do we understand? Krishna says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tattvataha. He says, you just understand my transcendental nature and you'll get liberated. No more coming back to the material world. Now, how do we understand Krishna's transcendental nature? How can we begin to understand? He's transcendental. Right now, we are inside the material body. Our senses are material. Our mind is material. Our experience is material. How can we understand? So it's only by devotional service, only by engaging in bhakti can we begin to understand Krishna's position. So the more we engage in devotional service, the more we will be able to understand Krishna's transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. I'm sorry. The process of entering into the kingdom of God is Tripada Bhuti Gati, or the path back home, back to Godhead, by which one can attain the ultimate goal of life. Kardama Muni, by his perfect devotional knowledge and service, achieved this ultimate goal, which is known as Bhagavati Gatihi. Thus, and the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the third canto, 24th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Renunciation of Kardama Muni. So Kardama Muni, he attained perfection of this human life How he attained perfection? That he became self-realized. He became self-realized. How? By engaging in devotional service, by perfect devotional knowledge. Means he truly was on the platform of the soul. He got self-realized, and at that point, he engaged in bhakti and he went back home, back to Godhead. Perfect devotional knowledge and service. And back home, back to Godhead. Is that okay? So the more we engage in devotional service, the more we will be able to understand Krishna, the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. Right now we are thinking about Supreme Lord, he's material, or he's as good as me, not able to understand his position. And the more we hear, more we chant, engage in some services.
And sadhu sang.
Sadhu sang, yes, in association of devotees, hearing and chanting. What is mean association of devotees? When we associate with devotees, then hearing and chanting about Krishna, or worshipping the deity, or some service will be involved. Yes, very good. In sadhu sang, excellent. Yeah. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. For all the participation and comments. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
For listening in and joining in.